Forum.
Debate over voting rights also heating up in Georgia this week, where a controversial new law has forced the state election board to set up a panel that will review local election systems. Their first order of business is a review of Fulton County, a Democratic stronghold and the state's most populous county. Now, some voting rights activists are warning the review is simply an attempt to intimidate and limit the will of voters. Joining us now, the chairman of Fulton County Board of Commissioners, Rob Pitts. Good morning, Rob. We appreciate you spending part of your weekend with us. State, local, federal officials of all political backgrounds have said again and again there was no widespread evidence of voter fraud in Georgia or anywhere else in the 2020 election. So why are these officials focused on Fulton County?
That's a great question, and the only possible explanation is that those conspiracy theorists are trying to curry favor with former President Donald Trump. The 2020 elections are over. The votes have been counted in Georgia 3 times, not 1, not 2, 3 times, 1 time by hand. Results are almost identical every time. And the election has been certified. So if that's the case, what is this all about? Well, let me tell you what it's all about. It's all about the big lie and preparing voters for the 2022 elections. So if they can continue to sow doubt, any doubt in the minds of voters, they think that that's going to be to their advantage in 2022 and also in 2024 when it's expected that former President Trump will try to make a return. Now, what happened here in Georgia, our Secretary of State fell out of favor with President Trump. And so he's trying to do everything that he can to curry favor with Trump and that crowd now. Because go back to 2020, once again, after the 2020 elections, he praised Fulton County for a job well done. So what's happened from 2020 when he praised us to where we are now? The only thing that's happened, he's fallen out of favor with the Trump and that crowd. Now he's trying to do everything he can to appease former President Trump and the followers of the big lie. It's as simple as that.
So, Rob, this 3-person panel that's been appointed has 1 Democrat, 1 Republican, and an official from the Republican Secretary of State's office. I'm wondering how confident you are that the panel is going to be impartial and do right by your voters.
Well, technically, there's probably 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat. And I don't know them personally, but I'm hoping that they're good people and will look at the facts and base whatever they come up with solely and really on the facts that they find. And I am confident that they're not going to find any evidence of any orchestrated effort to defraud the people and the voters of Fulton County. None whatsoever. In fact, I have challenged then President Trump, Secretary of State, and anybody else who said and continued to say, proponents of this big lie, that there was total fraud and chaos with respect to the Fulton County elections. It's not true. Said, if you have something, any evidence whatsoever, bring it to me and I will personally look into it. As of this morning, no one has come forward with any credible evidence. And I've been involved in a lot of elections. There is no such thing as a perfect election. So you make adjustments as you go along, and that's what we're doing. We're always trying to improve, and that's what we will continue to do. We have municipal elections coming up in November, but the big one is going to be in 2022, when we will have the eyes and ears of the world will once again be on the state of Georgia and Fulton County, because Fulton County, we're the largest county in the state of Georgia, probably the most Democratic. And if you look at the metropolitan Atlanta area, the 5 counties, we make up approximately 40% of the population and thereby the voters of the state of Georgia, heavily Democratic. So that's why there's so much emphasis and attention being placed upon Fulton County in particular. But let me just tell you this. They've picked on the wrong county, because I'm going to fight and I will be joined shoulder to shoulder by many other organizations and surrounding counties in this fight. We know that our elections, once again, they were open, they were fair, and they were transparent.
And Rob, do you think there's a racial component to this?
I wouldn't necessarily say racial, but there's clearly a partisan relation to it. And that's the unfortunate thing. This is partisan politics at its worst, because there's nothing here. Again, I've challenged him. If you have something, bring it to me. If you do not, put up or shut up. Even one of our Georgia representatives, this woman, Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and Gates from Florida, they're sticking their noses in the Fulton County business, have nothing to do with Fulton County. I told them to stay the hell out of Fulton County. You have nothing to do with us. We can take care of our own business here. Our elections were fair, open, they were transparent, and that's exactly what we're preparing for in our November elections in the next year. Because keep in mind, this area here, Fulton County, DeKalb County, Clayton County, Gwinnett County, and Cobb County, again, we represent some 40% of the population of the state of Georgia. And we were responsible, quite frankly, for the election of President Biden and clearly Senators Ossoff and Warnock. And next year, again, the eyes and ears of the world will be focused on the state of Georgia and Fulton County in particular with respect to the re-election of Senator Warnock. We're prepared for the fight. We shouldn't have to, but think about it. 9 months later, we're still here dealing with this big lie, trying to justify when even the Secretary of State's own person, this Carter Jones, that he put in to monitor our elections, and his report concluded that there was no malfeasance, no wrongdoing whatsoever with respect to the elections in Fulton County. So that being the case, what is this all about? Pure partisan politics. We won, they lost.
It is really curious that the Georgia Secretary of State praised Fulton County, and then the first order of business for this state-mandated election review board is to review the results in Fulton County when they have been reviewed now, as you noted, multiple times, and there is no evidence of widespread fraud whatsoever. Rob Pitts, we appreciate